AB 3121 would establish a task force to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans. This bill would require the task force to recommend the appropriate mechanisms for redress as it pertains specifically to California's role in the enslavement of Black people and the legacy of this enslavement. Between California's statehood in 1850 and the end of slavery in 1865, California was considered a free state in name only, with municipal and state authorities actively supporting Black enslavement in a variety of ways. For example, this California legislature authorized Southern slaveholders to hold persons in bondage so long as they had entered the state with their enslaved property prior to statehood in 1850. California's judicial branch also helped prop up the system of slavery. In 1852, California adopted a harsh Fugitive Slave Act, empowering state and local law enforcement to force self-emancipated persons living within the state back into chains of enslavement. The California Supreme Court ordered fugitive slaves, as in the historic case of Archie Lee, returned to their enslavers in direct violation of California's Constitution. My own hometown of Los Angeles and the actual district I currently represent, downtown LA, has a similar history with a woman by the name of Biddy Mason, who actually had to argue her own case in court to prevent her enslaver from returning her to the state of Mississippi. While this history is not part of state lore or school curricula, it does offer concrete examples of California's complicity in racial discrimination. In fact, the discriminatory practices of the past echo in the everyday lives of Black Californians today. According to Governor Newsom's 2020 State of the State address, Black people make up 8% of California's population. However, 43% of the homeless population in California are Black, and the percentage is much higher in some of our larger counties, including Los Angeles. According to a 2018 report by the Public Policy Institute of California, African American males account for 28.5% of the state's male prison population, despite the fact that Black men make up just 5.6% of the state's adult males. A recent study conducted by the LAO states that by nearly every state measure, Black K-12 students have the lowest performance of any racial ethnic group. Even as we debate the need for this study, COVID-19 has shed a sobering light on the culmination of these persistent disparities. Emerging data confirms that a disproportionate burden of illness and death due to COVID-19 fall on the Black community. So let's be clear. Chattel slavery, both in California and across our nation, birthed a legacy of racial harm and inequity that continues to impact the conditions of Black life in California. People who suffer injuries and losses through the malicious or culpably neglect conduct of others have a right to redress. AB 3121 would require an in-depth examination of the impact of slavery in California and provide the framework to develop guidelines on how to begin to address the disparities born of a shameful history. I ask for your aye vote.